So it starts with my sister. She, after doing her O-levels, she wanted to do medicine, and the school she was at didn't have those subjects what she wanted to do. So then she heard about this place. My mom came home and she was like, Nanga, join the school, why don't you go and finish your A-levels? Because it will be important and you'll be more mature when you face life and when you go to uni. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll give it a shot.
When James walked into CSA, he was still expecting to be treated like a little one. Hard part was in his adjusting to the fact that he has to show some commitment from his side as well. Also remember, his background was that of a national school where he had to follow the national curriculum, and of course studying for the national curriculum is very, very different to studying for the Cambridge curriculum, where the focus is on understanding rather than parroting out what you have memorized.
In my previous school, it was like alienation of workforce. No one knew who you were that much because the student population was that big. And for you to be known, you had to do something like you had to do a sport or you had to be higher up. And coming here, it's more like everyone knows what you're doing, where you're going, and there is so much of one-on-one attention from the teachers as well. So study-wise, it was more focused. So even if you played up in your previous school, in this school you couldn't do that much of it. And even if you were a last bencher, here even if you're a last bencher, you're still like first in class or something like that.
James again initially jumped into things with a lot of enthusiasm. He loved the opportunity to study, but nevertheless putting his head down and actually studying and delivering, he found that somewhat of a challenge. He tried to find his share of excuses for not being able to study, not being able to produce the grades. And he realized for himself, he came to that understanding that he was headed for a car crash, so to speak. He woke up, if you like, and said, I've decided to change.
Looking back, comparing what I learned here and what I use at uni, this school taught a lot of life skills, which I'm guessing my previous school wouldn't have. They taught how to do presentation skills, they taught social skills, and they basically taught you discipline and how you need to study. All those skills I picked it up from CSA.
The more we kept pushing him, the more he kept growing. And ultimately he did end up as both president of the Interact Club at CSA as well as a head prefect. He showed us the determination. He was willing to, and when I say put in work, I don't just mean hitting the books, but he was willing to wake up, put in the exercise, the regimen that we expect of exam candidates. He was willing to give us that commitment. He was willing to trust his teachers, work with them, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Well, it's more like I have a competitive advantage over the other students there, and it has helped me get all the A's and basically become batch top there so far. Boot camp is basically disciplining yourself. For me, coming from my previous school, there was discipline, but not much anymore. And coming from that culture to here and changing your lifestyle where you want to sit down and study, it was a bit difficult at first, I must say, but then you get used to it. And that has given me basically a lot of discipline, and when it comes to anything, I know how to discipline myself.
He is now at the William Anglis Institute, and again topping his batch. He's a gold medalist as well, and that is that same journey that he is continuing from his end.